All right, happy to have Josh Augustine back on the show now, who takes on Josh Weston next in the main event of Shamrock FC 340 on September 16th. Josh, how you doing?
Good. Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me back on.
Yes, nice to talk with you as always. And it's been quite a while since we last did an interview. So I just want to first ask you, man, like, what has life been like for you? What have you been up to?
Just training, getting ready for fights. I think the last time we spoke was before the Thatcher fight.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to have a Bellator fight against Weston March 12th. And that ended up getting canceled because he missed weight by 6 pounds. And then I was supposed to fight July 9th against a handful of opponents that kept falling out. And the last guy ended up falling out 2 days out. He ended up failing his medicals and fell out. And now we're here, September 16th. Two camps back to back fell out. And now we're back to Josh Weston.
So you must just be chomping at the bit just to get back in there and fight and compete.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was supposed to be a really busy year for me, getting back and being healthy and being as in good shape as I am in, and as sharp as I am, and really starting to scratch the surface of my prime. I wanted to have, 4, 5, 6 fights, especially at this local level, to be busting into that next tier competition. But everything happens for a reason, and that's kind of the fight game. That's why they say having 3 or 4 fights a year is a good year.
Right. Well, I want to rehash what you just said. You mentioned that you were supposed to fight Josh Weston at Bellator 276. That was in March, and he missed weight, 6 pounds over. You were originally supposed to fight Dan Bush, and he couldn't make, it wasn't make weight. He just couldn't make it to the fight. I'm not sure if he had an injury or what happened there, but that would have been your first fight for Bellator, man. How frustrating was that to not get that opportunity in March?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been really cool because it would have been at the Family Arena right here in St. Charles, Missouri. It's 10 minutes from where I grew up my whole life. So I watched a handful of games there and stuff. Whenever I was growing up, so it would have been a really cool experience. I felt like, so it was frustrating, but that's the past. I leave that behind me, and I'm just looking forward to September 16th. And I know I'm going to get back there.
When you're getting ready for a fight, though, and your opponent can't make weight, what does that do to your psyche? Because you go through so much in camp to get ready for a fight. Does this just make you even more motivated for this fight on September the 16th?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that this one got canceled makes me, want to beat his ass a little bit more. But I don't fight that way. I'm emotionless, and I go in there and I just do what I do. Everything's tactical and everything's perfect. And I'm just going to handle Josh the way I would handle, the slate of him if he was someone else. But I do think it's going to be a devastating knockout. I do think it's going to be a outstanding performance. I think it's really going to showcase my skills, which is why it's frustrating that fight didn't happen for Bellator, obviously. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Outside of training MMA, I mean that's your whole world right now, but what do you do to kind of keep yourself grounded, and you have any hobbies outside of the sport? I mean, I know football season's right around the corner for me, so I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really do anything. I'm locked in. I'm obsessed right now. It's just family and this is all I got, and that's why I know I'm going to succeed. That's why I know I can fight anyone in the world right now. And I'm looking to, like I said, go on a tear and be very, very active this year and break into that next tier of competition after this fight.
So 2 straight camps in a row right now. How is your body feeling? I mean, you put yourself through the grindstone getting ready for a fight. Do you still feel pretty fresh?
I'm a fucking animal. I'm in great shape. I don't take a lot of damage, and I'm just getting stronger and stronger, faster, more athletic. I'm refining my skills more and more, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting back in there. I'm not too banged up or anything.
What's your weight at right now?
It just honestly depends because I'm fluctuating so much. After practice, I'm getting down to pretty close to the weight of the fight, but in between I can get up to like 186. So we're not too far off weight. He fought a 205 fight against a older fella in his last fight. Was at like I said, 205. He weighed in at 194, and he had a little gut on him and stuff. So I was sizing him up whenever we were there. We had talked in the back and stuff, and you kind of feel like we might fight. You never know, and but I'm always cordial and stuff at shows. I'm not trying to catch any charges or anything. I know some of these guys are kind of crazy, but I try to stay away from that stuff, as emotional as I am. But he's not huge. He's not crazy big. I don't think he might have a slight strength advantage if I were to let him just lay on me on the cage, but he's not going to get me there. And if he does, I've worked with Sammy Henson for a couple of years now, silver medalist, Olympic wrestler. He's not going to be able to wrestle with me. I don't care how strong he is. You can't use strength against me unless you're actually like fucking 250 pounds. But this, it's only going to be a couple of pounds. He's not going to be able to use that. And I'm lifting weights. I'm working like a bodybuilder right now, eating like a bodybuilder, trying to keep this extra size on. So I'm going to go in there strong, fast, ready to go.
I saw a video. I think it was on the Shamrock Instagram page, and you were going in the cage to promote a fight. It was at a recent event. And I remember saying to myself, I was like, gosh, Josh looks big. You just, in a good way, you just look like a big dude for the weight class. Have you ever thought about maybe switching it up and going from, weight class to weight class as your career evolves, or are you just kind of dialed in with where you're at right now?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely would be interested in doing stuff like that, but it would all have to be the right opportunity. And this all just came about so naturally. It was all because fights fell out at Bellator and we couldn't get a 55 or like a guy at 60. So Weston ended up stepping in at 70. And, now it's just been a thing. And like, we had talked about previously, people had kind of been chirping in St. Louis MMA saying that it might have been a bad matchup or, I might have lost or whatever. So it may not have been great, but I just felt so differently about it, even though he may have been a little bigger. And this is my time to prove that. And we were having trouble finding opponents. So, it's perfect. All lined up.
Does a win here, does this get you a title shot next for Shamrock?
It should. I mean, I'm a big ticket seller for him. I would have liked to have been more active and I would have liked to, get some big wins for them. He is, a 20 fight veteran. So I think this does it, and especially doing it outside of my weight class. I think, with my record being where it's at and, being that I had, I'm in the position to have opportunities like with Bellator and stuff like that. Like they're comfortable. Shamrock is one who set that up and they're comfortable putting me in that position. I think they're comfortable, giving me the title and giving me the chance to move up to Bellator once again. In November. They'll have their next show in St. Charles, Missouri.
So explain that for anyone that doesn't know. So if you become the champion for Shamrock, you have the ability to vacate it and go straight to Bellator, right?
Yes, you can vacate the title and go straight to Bellator. Some guys choose not to, and then continue to take their opportunities if they want to, go to the UFC, PFL. A lot of guys obviously are sold on the UFC dream and want to do that whole thing, which I don't have any judgment about it. I know when I was younger and I didn't have a child and a bunch of responsibilities, I was like, oh man, I want to be the UFC champion. This is what I want to do because that's what we're sold on. It is a great company and they do put on fucking amazing fights. No matter where I fight, I'm always going to watch the UFC fights. They're badass. But for me, where I'm at, I want to get paid and I want to get to a title and a world championship as quickly as possible. And I think Bellator is the perfect company to do that with. And I was grateful to have that opportunity with them. And for all this to be lined up, to get a multi-fight deal with them just from getting a title and only being one fight away right now, that's where I need to be. I need to be making 10 and 10. I need to be taking care of my family through this. And that's where I want to be.
When you look at your skill set right now and you look at the guys in your weight class that are in the Bellator, promotion, how do you feel you stack up against them? Do you feel like you can go right in there, mix it up and start climbing the ranks?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm right there in the top 10 already, the top 5, top 10 already right now. And I still have a lot of room for refining and growth, especially the more that I'm able to compete at that level as well. I feel like when I look at guys like Benson Henderson, Magomedov, They're Miles Jury. They're all the top guys right now in that weight class. Obviously, the champ, the Pitbull brothers are right there. McKee is now up at 55. Spike Carlisle, he kind of got put in that position. He's kind of middle of the road. Like I can see myself beating a guy like that pretty easily, honestly. And that's where I think I'm right there. I'm not only right there with any of those guys. I see my strengths standing out with any one of those guys. And it's just about putting the matchup together and about fighting the right fight.
I always find it interesting when I'm talking to a fighter like yourself that's right on that doorstep of taking the next step and signing with a big promotion like a Bellator or a UFC. When you're at home and you're watching, a big event, like you're watching a Bellator event, and you know that, man, I'm going to be there soon. That's your goal. What is it like for you at home? I just imagine, ever seen that video of Conor McGregor just kind of pacing back and forth like a caged dog? Is that what it's like? Or are you just kind of more chill? Like, okay, my time's coming.
No, I'm more chill. I know my time's gonna come, and I don't think like, oh man, his opportunity has anything to do with my opportunity. Like everyone has their chance. Especially whenever I see people I know fighting, I enjoy watching them fighting and just seeing their career unfold and seeing what they got going, because everyone's in their own position, and that's something I've learned a lot over the past couple of years. Whenever I was out of the sport, is that life is its own thing, man. And everyone has their own journey, everyone has their own experience, everyone has their own thing. So I'm not trying to hate on anyone or say, oh, I'm going to beat that guy. Whenever my time comes, I know where I stand. I know I'm a top dog. I know I can go with anyone in the world, whether it's UFC, PFL, Bellator. I know I'm going to knock people out. I know people are going to be shocked from what I do. I know I'm going to have performances in the short future that people are gonna be like, oh shit, who the fuck is this kid? And I've been here, like I've just been working, but I haven't had my chances yet.
Well, that is coming, man. No doubt about it. Tell me, training partners for this camp, anyone new around you, or has it been pretty much the same guys that you normally get and work with?
Same guys, St. Charles MMA, Lucas Clay, Elmar Umarov, CJ Hunter. We got a bunch of good amateurs and new pros coming up. Davion Trotter, Aaron Schlosser, Derek Albright, Cody McGee, Jeremiah Kurtwright, Julius Angliscus. Obviously, those guys are not amateur. Those guys are pros. But Angliscus, he's the team captain right now. He's running the show, and he's really taking reins of that position. It's cool to see our little group of guys taking stuff seriously. We got like a nice little gang. I feel like we're like the Sopranos, they got like the big five families. We're just like that side group, we're not a major team, but we're just a little group of soldiers. We're doing our shit.
All right, man. I love it. How many times a day are you in the gym? Like, what does a typical day look like for you?
Well, it's either 2 or 3. It just kind of depends on the schedule. A couple days are road work. Right now, adding the extra day of lifting, I can't actually burn as many calories. So I'm trying to take some training out and make more high explosion. I have to have my strength coach explain it. I'm a dumbass. But it's more explosion and pushing hard for 15 minutes, fucking going, and trying to keep size on, trying to add some little bit of muscle, and train properly for this fight.
So right now, I mean, we're just about 2 weeks away from fight night. Is it just pretty much, working on technique and just getting the weight off at this point from here on out?
For the next week, I'm still going to train pretty hard. I'm not going to go too crazy on the sparring. It's going to be a little more technical sparring, but I'm going to keep heavy lift. I'm going to keep my running up, and I'm going to keep my so I'm going to keep the road work, keep the lifting, and I'm going to keep 2-a-days through this week, because I don't have to bring the weight down so far that I'm going to be feeling terrible from cutting my carbs. So I'm just going to treat it like a normal week, because this is what I would do regardless, and if I was outside of camp or whatever. And then next week will be a little more recovery, just chilling. And I had a lot of tickets to sell, so that'll be a lot easier to do without cutting a bunch of weight. So I'll be, keeping the weight right where I need it, and recovering, and then the last couple of days sliding down, being ready for the fight.
So Shamrock FC 340, it's in St. Louis, Missouri. How far is that from where you live? Is it just a really easy drive to get there?
It's about like 30, 45 minutes. It's down in the south side of St. Louis, and I'm like 30 minutes west of St. Louis. So it's kind of downtown, but yeah, it's one of the two bigger casinos here in St. Louis, and um I'm grateful for the opportunity. Shamrock always puts on a really awesome show. So I hope everyone comes out. It's from around here.
And you get to sleep in your own bed the night before. That's got to be huge, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And go home to my own bed. That'll be nice. Just
Yeah.
wake up and go back to normal life. Get back on the grind.
Well, let's talk about just this specific matchup with Josh Weston. He's 9-14. So we just look at the records in itself. Got to be a massive favorite here. Does that play a factor into, how you want to approach this fight? Because you definitely don't want to, because anything happened with MMA, right? Like you don't want to make one mistake and lose to someone that has a record like that. That wouldn't be good for where you're at in your career. Does that play into your mindset at all as you go into this fight?
Not at all. I mean, I do, of course, feel that, logically, you're going to feel that pressure. People are going to, you're going to think about that because I have high expectations for myself. And what goes along with those high expectations is not only beating Josh Weston, but dominating every single exchange and finishing and just something incredible. I want to put a highlight reel together. I want to do something where people are like, holy fuck, get him to Bellator now. But regardless, I'm not going to force anything because I'm a great fighter. Great fighters don't do that shit. But things do open up, and if something comes, I'll take it. I'm going to be there, and I've been watching a ton of film from the previous fight. I already had an idea of what the game plan would be, and so now I kind of had a game plan A, B, C, and I see everything working to a T. I don't see him stopping game plan A. I don't see him being able to do anything that he wants to do with my training partners around me, and with the level that I'm at right now, my movement, my striking, my wrestling, my jiu-jitsu is top notch right now, and he's a middle of the road guy, but he's tough, he's experienced, and he's going to be probably a little bit stronger than anyone I've ever fought. So there are challenges that I have not faced going into this fight. So that does gets me really, really excited for the fight. But yeah, I can't lose to this guy. That's for damn sure.
All right. So official prediction. How do you get it done? What round do you get it done in?
I want to just say first round, but I feel like it might be second round. Second round TKO knockout. But don't be surprised if he gets flashed in the first 20, 30 seconds.
Okay, man. And obviously, if anybody can't be there in person, how can they watch it online? I know the answer, but you let everyone know.
Yes, of course. Fight TV app. Get your subscription there, and then you can buy the pay-per-view online. And if you are in St. Louis, though, hit me up on Instagram at Augie MMA and get your tickets. Come out. It's going to be a really awesome show. I have a teammate on the card. His name's Donnell Walker. He's my brother from another mother. This dude trains like an animal. He wrestled at Maryville. He's next up. He's a heavyweight. He's like the next Daniel Cormier. This dude's a fucking animal. He is going to be something in this sport. I promise you. Okay,
man. You throw the name Daniel Cormier around, that gets my attention. So I'll have to be tuning in for his.
Well, I say that because of this. He's 5'11" heavyweight. He doesn't quite like move like DC, but he does hit the lifts. He's very, very strong, and he's super powerful. So he's got his own style. He's not like super like DC, but and he's got a lot of refining to do as well. But he's only had a couple of fights, but he's got a lot of skill. His wrestling is really high level, and striking's coming along.
Okay.
Lots of fun.
Can't wait for it, man. September the 16th. It's almost here. Shamrock FC 340. Josh, great talking to you again, bud. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. Please tell people where they can follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, any sponsors, the floor is yours.
Thank you, brother. Yes, please follow me over on Instagram at Augie MMA. That's where you can see all my content, see all my fights, everything coming up. As far as sponsors, I have Total Roofing St. Louis. I have to thank them. Always taking care of me. If you have any exterior problems going on in St. Louis, any exterior problems on your home, you need to hit them up. Two Car Guys in Crystal City. John Sands, that's who you need to call if you need a car in St. Louis. Marshall Inu. Get your tokens, get your bets in, get all your MMA needs. They're taking care of everyone over there. Hit them up. D&B Slots, Funds, and Games. If you're in Columbia, Illinois, go on out there, hit some slots, have some fun, see if you can hit some jackpots. They got lots of cool deals going on every day where you can go in and hit like $1,000 for like $5. You can do all kinds of cool shit. So go in there if you're in Columbia. Advanced Orthopedic Solution. If you are in St. Peters, Missouri, and you have any injuries, whenever I tore my hip labrum, I went in to see them. They hook you up with IVs. They'll do your blood work. They can get your diet tightened up. They do all kinds of different treatments and solutions for your body outside the box, just as far as outside of traditional Western medicine. They do everything from IVs to acupuncture, chiropractic care, everything. I got to thank everyone over at St. Charles MMA, all my teammates. Again, one dude I didn't mention, EJ Brooks, Carlitos Jones, those dudes helping me put me hip to some really high level grappling. And I'm going to show all that hard work pay off. I got to thank everybody, all those people I mentioned. You guys all make this possible. Couldn't do this and couldn't get to where I want to be without you guys. Thank you all so much.